we can't emphasize enough. Nacheki tuko live, nacheki tuko sawa, nacheki kameanza. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to Journey with the Omondis. It's Monday again, and every Monday 7 p.m. hadi saa 2 usiku we normally journey with the Omondis because that's the right thing to do on Monday. Anyhow, wacha ni introduce watu wangu kwa nyumba. Put your hands together for the lady in the house, Mix wa Omosh. Let's go. And of course, behind every successful woman, there is a Jama struggling. Put your hands together for Eric.
Yes. There is a hustler. There is a hustler. There is a Jama struggling to make it.
Hey, sawa. Anyway, mkwaje majama. Karibisheni watu kwa channel yenu sasa.
Anyway, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Or it could be morning or afternoon, depending on where you're joining the show from. You have missed us, yes, and we have missed you as well. Now that we have done 2 weeks without joining in conversations like this, but as you can see, tumekamna energy mob sana. It's because we had missed the show. And then also safari ilikuwa imetake I think tulikuwa tumepark, so the journey continues. Okay, so karibuni sana, welcome all of you to today's show. We are talking about community and how community has been of value to us so far, and we just want to say come listen in, but then also, as we say here, find God. This is God's story we are telling. Okay, and we are getting to a place where now God is showing us the reason why, or the value there is in the people that He surrounded us with. And as we do so, as you find God,
All right, I'm not sure whether they're still with us. Lakini sasa, now that we are here, karibuni sana. If you're watching us on Facebook, you can go ahead and start.
My name is Eric. Omondis.
Awesome. Wix, can you hear me? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us tonight. Again, depending from where you're watching us from, it could be morning, it could be jioni, it could be an afternoon. Watu wangu wa US, watu wa Seattle, watu wa akina Othis. Munakuaga wapi huko? Karibuni sana to the show, to the party, to the journey. The journey continues. Remember to buckle up because it's gonna be bumpy, it's gonna be sweet, it's gonna be everything good. Lakini kwa sasa, I just want to encourage you, if you're watching us and you feel like this is good content, maybe you watched us before and you're feeling, this is good content, you can go ahead and start a watch party. So how do you start a watch party? Ni rahisi sana. Enda kwa post yako, all right? Kwa page, kwa account yako. It's like you're starting a new post. And then, hapo hivyo, utaona the 3 dots, you will see an opportunity to there are so many opportunities, and then huko mwisho kabisa there's one that says watch party. You can click on that, and then after you click on that, itakuletea some videos. Select the live segment, and on live you search Journey with your Omondis. Once you search Journey with your Omondis, tap on it, and then done. And when you're done, you can post something and like caption and say, here we are, the journey continues, or community, and whatever it is that you like to caption, what get raisi, and there you will have started a watch party. Why it's important to start a watch party is because the reach is wider. So when this is ministry to us, we would like it to reach to everybody, and especially who is online and watching us. So help us do that by starting a watch party and doing this pamoja na sisi. Opendo, we love you so much. So the Omondis are back. We want to add them back to the show, and the journey continues. I'll see you, ladies and gentlemen. Karibuni. So remember to comment and let us know where you're watching us from. Also, let us know what you think about this show. Number 3, remember to comment or say anything about your community. What is it that you'd like to appreciate about your community? Bogi yako walikamaje through for you when you needed it. All right, let us know. But anyway, guys, you were doing an intro. We missed a big chunk of it because your internet was not stable. but you can go ahead and welcome people back to your channel again now, vizuri kabisa, officially. All right, let's do that one more time.
Okay. Okay, all right. Sorry for the internet challenge. Karibuni sana to Journey the Omondis. We missed you. It's been 2 weeks, but we are glad that the journey continues today and we get to talk about community and the value that community has had on us. And like we say here, may you find God in your story, even as you listen into our story, as you engage. Like Dante has said, you could have comments. Feel free to share. You could have, you could maybe you hear something we say that resonates with your community or with your story. Feel free to share that with us. And remember to, I don't know if you mentioned that, you can also watch the show on our YouTube channel, Journey with Omondis. Okay. Yeah.
Karibuni
Alright.
sana to show.
Yeah.
Asanteni sana. Kabla tuendele sana, I don't know how you guys have been doing. You know, we do this show and I just realized that we can continue with this journey, but kuna vitu mob sana people don't know about you. For example, people don't know that you guys are very different from each other. All right? And they think,
We are
that's very different from each other. Unajua kuna hizo vitu watu wanasemaga watu wakioana wanafananaga. So I want us to talk about for a minute or two your differences, like what is so different about each one of you apart from kufanana. By the way, mnakaga, it's been 4 years now, eh? Yes, so it's very likely that mmeanza kufanana, but then kama unakaa mix kiasi. So apart from that,
maybe mimi ndamanika
Chake iko hivi.
Anyway,
one of our different
how different are you from each other?
One of the ways we are different, Dante, is that our relationship is a long distance relationship. I am
Yeah.
Mwix is humble. She's very down to earth.
Down to earth.
Okay. Yes. She's
Alafu
very down
uko na-
to earth.
Alafu uko na kiburi.
Mi upanda tu juu. Niko na kiburi. Anyway, I am namwangalianga hivi. Okay? Namwangalianga hivi. That's one of the obvious differences. And then something else, she says that I'm lighter than her. I don't know how true that is. My skin complexion. Utajitetea ukiwa pande gani?
Ami sijitetei.
Anyway, please share one or two differences.
I think for him is a doer. I just like doing stuff, but I'm not a doer. So I like taking my time before doing something or making a decision, but you can make a decision immediately. Yeah, and it's just on the go throughout, doing something. Whereas I'm just not doing something all the time. Yeah.
Nyinyi ni watu wa kurelaxanga. Keeping calm. No, watu hawezi keep.
That is so true, by the way.
All right. I think it's good to hear that from you.
The world is moving.
Sorry? All right. I think tonight, this is one of those nights, internet kuna vile, but we will cruise through. Lazima tutatoboa. We can't, after 2 weeks, we have to find a way. We have to figure out a way of doing this. But yes, you are on a journey with your Omondis, with Eric Omondi and Mary Omondi, and I will be your host, Dante. Hype Dante. Remember, community is key. And in fact, one of the things that we will be talking about tonight is community and how community has, played or has helped these two become what they are tonight, what they are today, what they are right now. And let's talk about that. We don't know how community has helped you, and especially if you're married, how has community, what stories do you have about your community? If you're a single person, what stories do you have about your community. If you are, in business, how has community helped you grow your business? If you are, whatever field you are in, how has community helped you get where you are? Let's get to hear those stories, because I believe no man can do all these things. No man can get where, like, God has put us on this earth. Na kuna vile, so we can get where we are. Of course, we need God, and then again, we need a community. Because if God didn't value community, then I think He would have put us in an island somewhere. Ndio tukwe tu peke yetu. Kila mtu, how many billions are we? We are 7 billion. Kila mtu kwa island kake. So dunia ingekuwa na 7 billion islands. Kila mtu kwa island kake. But because He wanted us to be in a community, He put us in places where we have people, we have all these things going on, and that is what He wanted for us, because He uses community to minister to us. He uses community to reach out to us. He uses community to grow us. In fact, unajua kitambo venye tulikuwa tunasemaga mtoto ni wa kijiji. That's so true. And I think times have changed. Siku hizi manze ni hard kuachilia mtoto wako kwa kijiji. Siku hizi wasi wanaishi kwa apartments, unajua. So ni hard manze kuacha mtoto wako. Kitambo mtoto alikuwa nyoroshwa na jirani, then you got nothing to say about it. Yani unakubali tu. Mtoto anachapwa na jirani na uko tu hapo unaangalia unasema ndio usizoe, and it becomes that is what made us who we are today, because we know that if I make a mistake, si wazazi wangu wananicheki peke yangu, but I have so many people watching me, I have so many people following me, I have so many people around me, I'm surrounded. There is no way I'm gonna mess up. But today I think tunaishi kwa ile world ya mimi niko tu sawa, and I want to do me, I want to be me, I want to, all those things, and we forget that community is key. But tukikuja kwa vitu kama ndoa, because this show is about marriage and stuff. So if we get to marriage and everything about marriage, we are realizing that a community is one of those things that you can do without, and especially from the time you start planning a wedding, and even before that, tangu mazimu anza katiana, you realize community ni key. Sababu lazima uambie mbogi fulani ni aje, mimi na udem tumeanza uhusiano. Hapa nimetumia Kiswahili noma, isipokuwa hiyo jina dem. But mimi na msichana tumeanza uhusiano, tunatongozana. Hiyo jina ina sound vibaya, but ni Kiswahili sahihi. Tunatongozana. And we need you to, be part of our community, because we need you to be accountable. We need to be accountable to you and all that stuff. And then you start introducing community. Kwa hii story mali tumefikia saa hii ni after Uchali amepropose last 2 weeks ago. Tulicheki Uchali akienda kwa magoti, and the only time ashaenda kwa magoti tena ni akiomba. Ukiona mwanaume anaenda chini kwa magoti ako ready, amenyenyekea, and akapeana ring na ikakuwa jibu, ikakuwa ndio. And now 2 weeks later we want to go back to that story and figure out, so what happens after that? Hii story ilisongaje? Hii story after hapa iliendaje? And backstage they told me, what, we couldn't have done this if we didn't have a community around us. And we want to know, why was this so important? So ladies and gentlemen, they are back, and this time round they are not gonna leave, because internet will be stable in Jesus name. Kama unaamini type amen hapo, lakini leo mnaniangusha. Leo hata watu wangu wenye kawaida hawaniandiki nini. It's all right. Haina noma. Nawapenda bado. But anyway, karibuni sana to show, and if you feel like hii internet inatukosea, it's going to be stable in Jesus name, and you can go ahead and support that. Support us in prayer if you can't comment, but if you can comment, kama ni wewe wale wasio comment, andika hapo amen, ndio tuko moja, au sio? Wapendwa wadau, wasikilizaji, watazamaji, ni Omondis. All right? Sawa. Watu wangu, simu naweza potea.
Unasema simu ama
simu ina anyway, si unaweza host.
na leo kama umechangamka,
lazima nichangamke.
Si unaweza host show.
Hisho ana nilikuwa nimeamua sasa. Nilikuwa nimeamua mimi naenda nayo mpaka top of the hour. Kwani iko nini? Nilikuwa nishaanza kufikiria ile story sasa nitawaambia. Ndio story gani? But of course, the story is a community waga. I think it would be a lie to say that we've not seen community come through for us at some point in life. So hata mungekosa ku come back, bado ningepata tu story ya kuongea even about myself and how community has been key for me. But now that we are here, let's talk about you guys. So community imewasaidiaje? And last time tulicheki vile proposal kalienda through nini and life after proposal, but then you introduced something that was very key, and I felt like it's important to talk about it. Community. What is this community thing that you're talking about? I think dictionary ubonga about community. Dictionary nasemaga, you know, a community is a social unit with commonality, like things that are common to all of you. It could be things like faith, beliefs, and all those things. But when you talk about community, for you, what do you hear, and what is community for you, and what has community done to you, or how did it come in to help you through your processes and all that stuff?
Yeah, maybe just to start us off, rather, it will be critical for us to mention that the reason we want to highlight, I mean, you know, the story, our God story has many facets, okay? And we cannot break it down to every single and minute facet. When we come to this show like this once a week, we try and pick what we'll consider as a major facet of the story. So for us to pick community as one of the major things we like to highlight in our story is basically to say that it is important. We have seen that, we have experienced that, we have believed that community has played a big role in our lives as individuals, but then also as a couple, okay? And when we are talking about community, we are talking about community in terms of family, those that we are related to by blood. That is first, okay? Siblings, parents, okay, and other relatives. But then we also, like you said, there are those that we share faith. So we had a church community, okay, that played a major role in us, you know, working together, the journey to marriage, and even to this point. And then there are also those that we come a long way with as friends. Like, for example, my high school friends were actually a key component of our community as well, and her friends as well. Yeah, I think those would just be major.
I mean, we can never overemphasize on this community issue. In fact, the two things that I am hearing, even you know, new in marriage, is one of the things that married people who are experienced like you guys are telling me is communication. After you've communicated, communicate. After you have finished communicating, communicate again. But then again, I'm also hearing a lot of and now this is even before marriage, community. If you're in a community, it's good to be in a community. If you think you have exhausted your community, go back to your community. I'm hearing a lot of community, and my question now is, because I've had a lot of issues. Like a friend of mine who told me, and this is what I would want us to changia. If you're still there, you can wave. All right. I think we've lost them again. Aina noma, we will cruise through tutatoboa. Sawa. But what I'm hearing is a lot of my friends. Okay, there's a friend of mine who told me, Mimi, nangoja nataka kudu, but kitu many hold back ni jusai missing mina boy wangu yangu kuna vile tuna dosa natai kuchana wasi. In fact, it's me who wrote them. You see, hii story si lazima ikuwe, you don't need, si lazima tukuwe na enough to do. I mean, sometimes I feel like things like money are taken away from us, so that we're taken to that we are denied control, so that God now comes in and plays and does him, and he will through community. So I told them, you know what? I think the whole idea is to involve the community around you. The whole idea is to involve around you that God has put in life during that zone in life. But because me, bro, in fact, what we're going to do, save. So they've been saving for some time now until yetu, and then we will do it. And that kind of made me so sad because I felt like this is a couple that wants to start a long-term relationship. Like, I don't think marriage and weddings and all these functions, I can assure, it's about how much you have. It's about how much community do you have. Because you could have a family, and without a community, I don't see how this family is going to make it. So this is beyond money. Community gives you beyond money. Community gives you more money. Community gives you what money cannot give you. I don't know what you think, but let's talk about it. Let me read on the comment. Edith on Giro and some great comments. Please go ahead and tell us what you think about this whole issue. Life together. Do you think community is important? Do you think using the words of these guys, hawataki because they've seen a lot of things around issues. Unadiwa kwa WhatsApp group. I agree. Kuna vile zingine we not this the right way. Maybe you started a WhatsApp group, unataka watu wa kusupport, and then you just add people, and then unaamka siku moja unajipata kwa WhatsApp group ya msee fulani, you don't even talk, alikuwa best yako high school, and now they want you to be community, and they ask you for money, and you're in a group with 236 people, unashanga rada, and can be annoying. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about, and maybe we should even clarify, so who is your community? Or how do you get into a community? Or this whole community word you're using tonight, what is it all about? I think community for me is not people who used to be your friends, now. I think community is people who are around you during that season in life, and people who are intentional, you are in an intentional relationship with. Maybe around the same time you believe in things like marriage, you believe in things like you share faith, you fellowship together. Maybe even a home fellowship, you are in a home fellowship together, you fellowship in the same church. Now that becomes your community. Sometimes our friends, when you make it wakaomoka wakaenda majuu, we might want them to be our community, but it doesn't really work so well unless you are in touch, unless you're in communication. So community, if you're planning to do all these things, usifungue WhatsApp group and then utuadapt. Now that we are talking about community tonight, utuongeze hapo, and then you think tutakusupport na moyo wetu wote. That's not how it works. And if you try to go in that direction, inaweza fail vibaya sana. Community, like we are saying, is people who are around you that season in life. And we just raised an issue there. There are the couples that feel like we don't want to try kusumbua wase. And now that these guys are back, I think nafaa kuwa engage kwa your story. Yeah. So continue commenting. Let us know what you think. But show iendelee. Karibuni back. Leo ndawakaribisha kila time na tu joke.
Tumekulipa lazima
manze, unajua sasa pia kacheki kashaandikwa, hakuna venye na cancel hiki. I just remember when you are offline, I just remembered a friend of mine who nilimuuliza, manze mmedate for so long, simuane tu, akaniambia sisi tunatafuta do. Nikamwambia but do isikuwe issue. Manze waeni tu. Si mko na wase around you. Wakatuambia si hataki kuchosha wase. Hataki kuchosha wase. Si tunataka tu kwanza kutafuta do yetu itoshe, and ndio tuanze life bila kuchosha wase, bila madeni na bila hizo vitu zote. Of course your place ya madeni, I totally agree. Don't get into usianzishe relationship yako na madeni. But do you think what do you think about this whole issue? of people feeling like wanachosha wase, and then maybe we will get back to your story. I just want to ensure that internet iko stable. Nataka mkianza story yenu tusikuwe na mahiccup, but kwanza your opinion on this whole issue of feeling like unachosha wase by involving them in this thing. Did you hear me? Did you hear me? Are you there? All right, let's pray. Lord, I am grateful that you've given us a good time tonight. I am grateful that you've given us a gadget in internet that could fail. And I know we had asked for a beautiful time when we were starting this, but internet keeps dropping. We pray for restoration of that. We pray for stable internet. We pray for a good time. And whatever the enemy is trying to raise against us tonight is defeated in Jesus' name. He has a plan to steal, kill, and destroy everything we're trying to put out there tonight. And no, Father, we pray that he loses even before he starts and even before he goes so far. Lord, oh Father, I pray for a good time. Whether we will have stable internet or not, we still believe that you are proud when we talk about kingdom business, and this is going to be fine. We are very aware what you're doing in your, around us and in us, and we are aware of what you have in store for your people, and we will try and ensure that this truth goes out whichever way, whether tonight or another day, whether with stable internet or not. And this is our prayer, that we will enjoy the show tonight in Jesus' name. Amen and amen and amen. Hii internet lazima itawaka, na isipowaka hatujali. All right, so story continues.
Anyway. Sawa, pole brother, acha nikutake back. Kuna swali ulikuwa unauliza hatukukupata. Let's so that we can carry on with the story. Yes.
Mimi ni wasee nilikuwa namesikia wakisema vile wanataka badala ya wamedate for so long, karibu 6 years. Nikawauliza simuoane tu, wakaniambia sisi tunataka kutafuta do. Na si mko na wasee, si mnaweza tu engage, si mnaweza tu involve, wakatuambia si tutaki kuchosha wasee. Yet I was feeling we are their community. What do you think about all this feeling here, and especially to people who are planning to settle down? What would you say to them when that feeling of kuchosha wasee comes?
You know, the few times that I've had an opportunity to talk about the value of community to friends, my age mates, okay? The thing that I have always said, which is true, by the way, especially about our Kenyan or African culture, is that when it comes to marriage, by the way, the community expects that you'll involve them. In fact, wase watajam.
Yes.
Wase watajam, wakisikia tu, we ulifanya tu vitu, na story kadai. Let me give you a very practical story of a friend of ours in my former church. This guy planned a wedding. He actually planned his wedding single-handed. Yeye mwenyewe alitafuta service providers. Of course, he had the money. He and his fiance, they had the money. So they did not need a committee, so to speak, for the purposes. They needed a committee, but they did not need a committee for the purposes of raising resources per se. So he actually planned everything on his own. Saizo, me and my friends, we were actually, I think we had just gotten into our young adulthood, and we had helped 2, if not 3 people, in just planning their marriage, their wedding. We didn't have the money, yes, but there are things we could offer, okay? So vile tulisikia brother anaoa, tukajua another opportunity to support one of our own. Si tuliitwa tu Edo. Do you know, hiyo kitu ilituuma. Just the fact that umse alituta tu attend Edo. We are thinking, sungetuambia tukwe security. You understand? Because those are things that we are used to. Tunajua tu na haituumi eti juu ya do ni sawa, but we are part of your community. We are expecting that you will tell us mse kujeni munisaidie transport this and that, kupark. You understand? Why? Because we expected it. We anticipated that we'll be asked to do these things, and we were willing, we are ready to help. Hiyo kitu lituma sana by the way, tukafilu brother ametuweka nje. And generally that is how people expect, especially if you live well with people. Although again, God is good. Hata wale wenye waishi vizuri sana na watu, they still have people who hope that they will be involved, okay, in their marriage preparation. So first and foremost, I want to highlight that, by the way, whether you tell people or whether you engage your community, you involve them or not, just know that they expect it. And they hope that you will go. Now, the thing is, they will not come and ask you. Those who might complain, they'll complain after they've realized you've not involved them. But while you're planning, they will not necessarily come and ask you, but they want you to take the responsibility. And it's honorable, it's a privilege to go to someone and tell them, by the way, so I am processing this with this lady, and we would like you to support us. Okay, come alongside us. Why? Because you are our community, and that way you allow them to think and consider how they can be part of that. So hauchoshi mtu, by the way, hauchoshi mtu. They are anticipating, they are waiting for you to bring them along the process. I don't know what you have to say about that.
I think one of the things I can say is that God puts people around you, and He puts us around people. And it is not everyone in your community will support you, but God has raised people for you in every season, and He has also raised you for others in different seasons. Maybe sometimes mtu ana feeling maybe sije support mtu kuchangisha kwa wedo ama kufanya nini kwa wedo, so hata mimi maybe there's no one who will support me. But I don't believe that is the case. When your season comes, God anakuanga already ashaweka watu, ashakupatia tu a certain community. Hata inaweza kuwa maybe sile unaangalia, but kuna hunga tu na community tu fulani. I believe that God anakuanga ameka around your. I wouldn't say before my wedding had supported any other person in the wedding. Miss sije kwa line up, miss sije kuchanga kwa wedo. I've never done those things before. But when it was my time to get married, God put people around me. So maybe the question inafaa kukua, who are those people that God has put around you, and who are those people that God has put you there for them, so that you can see how you can support each other, as in a symbiotic relationship whereby you support each other. Excuse me.
All right. I think that's good to mention, and I like that last thing that Mix has asked. So, who has God put around you? And the question that comes to my mind right now is back to you guys. So, it's time to share your story. So, who had God put around you during that time when you were planning? So, let's talk about it now. I think we cannot talk about your story. Enough of what we've been hearing huko nje. So, nini God alikuwa nani?
Anyway, I think I was really looking forward to this episode of just talking about community, because I see this as an opportunity to just openly appreciate some of the people that honestly God had handpicked to be part of our journey. And interestingly, that was a season. Some of them right now, that was their season to work with us. Some of them right now, we are not as close. We wish we were. But again, we understand that life has to move on. People have to pursue what they are pursuing and all that, and we cannot be together as much. But looking back, I am very, very grateful that the Lord had placed them in those places. So going back to our story, we actually started involving the community immediately. We were clear when when now we came back and we were clear that now we are dating for marriage, okay, then we came up with a lineup, okay, and decided that now that we are sure about this, then the people around us need to know, okay. And I'll tell you why we did that. And we did a list of families, friends, that we needed to visit. To do what? To just tell them that actually the two of us have decided we want to date for marriage. And we are here to just let you know, first and foremost, so that you know and know about it from us. Like when rumors that you've had someone saying that you guys, are planning to get married. No, we want to tell you. And we found that to be very, very honorable. So manzema sleepovers, madinas, zenye tulidu, especially in our church community. The Syokimau community. Every time I think about our journey, our dating and marriage journey, we keep saying that this has been a community thing. It has been a community. Our wedding was a community event. Every event that came before was actually community driven. There are things that at some point I was just asked, okay, I was leading, of course, as a man, but at some point I was just told, now hold up, we will take up things from here. And there are times that I will be called to meetings. I want to respect two families that I will never forget that sacrificed their sleep. And the following day, they were actually waking up very early to go to work. The Jewess and that is Jackie and Norman Jew. My good friends, right now we don't meet as much. There are times I wish we met. There are times I wish when I visited the community there, I would see them. I don't see them. But I am grateful that the time that God gave to us to connect in such a way, I think we used it very well. And they became a very key pillar in our relationship. So Jackie Njue and Norman Njue, I mean, you and the Ludas, Ken and Rosie, who are now in the United States, in this state, in a pronunciation Seattle, but it's written Seattle or something. Very confusing. These guys, and remember, this meeting was in Syokimau. The Ludas were to travel back to Ngong at midnight. Feather. That time I think they were still at Feather. They were not in Ngong. And this meeting actually was to help us plan our Orasho. Kujeni to plan Orasho na nyinyi. And it went up to around 1 a.m. That was community. People owned it. People were willing. Those who had gone ahead of us were willing to come and share the experience with us and to hold our hands and walk with us. And I could share. As we continue on with these conversations, I'll be mentioning different names. But we started right there by visiting people. And this is what I wanted to say when I said I will tell you why. What we were seeking in reaching out to community was two things. The first thing was accountability. We were letting them know so that they keep us accountable, so that they know that we are dating, they know our intention for dating. So in case that changes, or in case they see us in a way that does not reflect that, they have the authority to ask us questions. And we created that atmosphere with a number of families. I think the entire community of Syokimau Life Spring, we visited many homes. But then secondly, it was of course to support, just like I said already, the community expects that you will tell them and they'll support you. In fact, there are those that we just mentioned that you're dating to get married and they would quickly rush and say, wow, that's nice, you have our support. And from those visits, remember, we've not even started planning the wedding. There are people who had already booked items on the unclear wedding budget. People will tell us, want my support on this item. Don't budget for that. And the community came through very well. So to answer your question, maybe a little bit more directly on my end before Mikali shares her view, who had God placed strategically to work with us. Hey, it's so many people. The entire Life Spring Chapel, Syokimau community, and some of the Life Spring and Bakasi community.
Friends.
Our friends, our family. I remember my cousins actually supporting me in a big way. So family, friends, and the church community were the people that God placed strategically to come and walk with us through this journey. That was our community.
I think you've said everything.
Said everything. Yes, she says I've said everything.
I'm interested to hear the stories, like that story of people spending sleepless nights. Najua kuna kastori hapo. Ken Aluda, najua kuna kastori hapo. I'm interested to hear. I think if these guys watch this show, wangependa maybe hata wakumbuki, because that is what community does. Community doesn't count. And by the way, if you're in a community where you are saying mtoto tumemlea na shida, sasa mnafahamu tulipe, that shows that maybe all they existed to do, I don't know, but you see, it's natural for a community to support their own, all right? So
Yes,
it's not like they've been keeping record and saying, okay, tuliwasaidia, au wengine nao tutawasaidia. No, this is part of life. God has put us here so that we can help each other. And
yes.
I know they don't keep records. And that is why I'm asking. If you can remember the stories, please go ahead and share. I think wangependa sana kusikia ati tulifanya nini. So go ahead and share.
Okay.
But as you try to remember that, I just want to remind us that, I think when I was sharing earlier, I remembered that I think the earth has 7 billion people. The earth has 7 billion people. If God wanted us to be alone, and this whole idea of community is not his idea, I think he would have put us, each one of us, kwa island yake. So create 7 billion islands. Kila mtu akae peke yake. Mi nafikiria hivyo. So I think the reason why he put us in communities, in apartments, in villages, is so that we can belong to a community. So community is God's idea. Don't even think about it. That's God's idea. But you've also mentioned and said that why community is because, one, it offers you accountability. And I believe that every serious couple, every serious relationship needs accountability. But also, number two, support in kind and other ways. Thank you very much for letting us know this. This is quite helpful. If you're watching this and you feel like you disagree with it, maybe kuna shida mahali. Anyway, I don't know. But thank you very much for joining us thus far. This has been Journey with Your Omondis, and we are about to end this. We have 15 minutes or so to go. But as we end, we would like to hear some more stories of how community came in. And let's talk about it.
I think one of the things that I remember, it's I remember a friend of ours, Maganjo.
Oh, Georgia.
This is the guy that accompanied everything, and ili company Eric kukam kwetu, and as in Fox people walikuwa tu ni watu wa community, not necessarily even family,
Yes.
but the community that was around us, the church community that was around us, hiyo ndio ilikuwa, hao ndio walikuwa watu wenye walikuwa wanaenda na Eric, hao ndio walikuwa right hand people, ndio walikuwa wanaenda na yeye, wanamsupport in so many ways. So that is also another way that the community supported us.
Brother, what stories do you remember?
A God idea. You know how it will look like with over 7 billion islands, and that will push God to create more islands as more people are born. Okay, but we are here for each other. And the thing, something else you said about community is, they actually literally tender wema and they go, they forget.
It's true.
That is what sorry about that, man. So community basically tenders wema and they go, they do good and just go as if it never happened. And you're right, I can bet that right now each did that are now very close to our hearts. Talking about God even connected me or us to Maganjo, and things, the dots now begin to add up. Okay, even to a point of now he's part of a team that we went to church plant with. I did not see that when we first met, and we served together in the men's ministry and all that. Kumbe God had planned something. Okay, there's a reason, like you said earlier. There's a reason God had placed him in that space. And Maganjo was the first person that went with me to Kinamwikali. He was a very first spokesperson as during the negotiations and all that. And then I think he handed over the baton to Ken during the Rorashio. He was now the spokesperson, Ken Aluda. Now, the things that I remember about the story you're saying, the late night meeting, one, I just remember the fact that these guys, these two couples, I don't know how this.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you think about this topic tonight, but it's quite a topic, and I know we can talk about this, hadi kesho. We cannot exhaust how community has, and maybe right now you're starting to think of the many times community has come through for you. I don't know, but if you could get some time this week and call those guys and tell them niaje manze, unajua huwezi kumbuka ile siku ulinibaia kiatu manze, unajua huwezi kumbuka venye you remind them and get to affirm them and appreciate them. I think that would be the best thing to do this. I don't know what you're thinking. Na kama umekosa form hii wiki, nishakupatia form, ndio hiyo. Take some time and affirm people who've come through for you, within your community. Affirm your community and things that they've done for you. Go ahead and do that tonight, tomorrow, this week. You can consider doing that this week. I think it will be very helpful and refreshing for them. But I want to do that. In fact, as they are sharing, I'm remembering the many times community has come through for me. Well, my stories may come kwa kichwa, my friends. Yeah, I want to remind those guys this week of how they've been committed to me. And sometimes people don't even realize that you've been committed to they've been committed to you, or you've been committed to them. People don't realize until maybe you affirm them and tell them, hey, bro, man, you are my community, or you have been my community, or you are my community. When it's important to be intentional about it, there are sometimes people don't know that they are your community, and it's good to let them know. But hey, I consider you my community. Anyway, guys, continue with the story. Kukaendaje?
Amazing. I think I also want to do that. You know how we are reminded of these customer care weeks. And these guys send you a message and all that. I mean, how about I've tried it once, by the way. I've tried it once or twice. I think there's a day last year. I just sat and thought about the fact that God has blessed me with a rich community that cares so deeply, and I just started sending messages to my community, appreciating them for being part of my life, and I was amazed at the response that I received. But anyway, on our foot. This thing is so annoying. Our internet is so annoying. Let's find a solution, a better solution right now, even as we carry on.
That's okay. I don't
never been married before.
I don't think if there's, like, especially people who are watching us right now and they've had shows online, I know they understand the struggle. Struggle is real, and especially when you're doing something good, the enemy tries to battle it from all directions. Na itakuwa tu sawa. In fact, I feel like this is one of the best shows I've had, because maybe it's because I'm talking about something dear to me, but then again, I know when there is rebellion, and no, not rebellion. I know when there is force coming against you, it shows that there's a high probability that we're talking about pressure stuff. All right, as the Omondis try to sort that, we carry on, and I want to highlight hey, Jeso, highlight. Yeah, I want to highlight something that they mentioned here. They said, so why is it important for you to be in a community? One is because, community offers you accountability. And we're talking about accountability. It's not something easy for people, I know, and especially when you're starting to date a girl right there, ama you've gotten a kajama, you've started vibing. Accountability is not the best idea. It's not the first thing that comes in mind, because this is the time you're thinking, oh, I have been to the public so much, I've gotten someone I can confine with, and this is the time now to do mambo yetu, to be us, creating, it's us against the world, or it's the world against us, and accountability doesn't come fast. But you will need that accountability. And you're wondering, so should we tell people about all these things? And basically, community now comes in that place where you get to confine with them and get to involve them in your planning, get to involve them in your thought processes, get to involve them in all these things. And that is why accountability is key. And community comes to give you that accountability. Accountability helps you make informed decisions too. All right, they are back, and I am glad. They will be back so many times, guys, so be ready. In fact, we still have 9 minutes to go, and I'm not surprised if they get back 5 times. So, lakini tutaendelea. All right, you're back for the 30th time now. It's okay, let's go on.
We've been off and on. But anyway, let the journey and conversations continue. So I think the main point is that we are just saying that community added a lot of value. Community guided us. And one thing that I think we really celebrate about how we went about community ourselves is because we had different tiers of community. Sometimes we can get lost to our buddies, our age mates, and think they can solve all our problems. So for some reasons, I think God just led us to have a community of those who've gone ahead of us, so that we can tap on some wisdom. They've gone ahead and they could guide us into the journey. We also had a large community of those who are just, within our space, okay? Those who are hoping to get married, those who are planning to get married, just like we were. But then also we had a community of those who are even younger, okay, younger than us, and they came and supported in their own way. We even had a community of children that Mixia was teaching. She was the children's pastor, and the children also were a community on their own around us that we celebrate in a big way. So that was very intentional, so that we have those that we are working with, that we can that can learn from what we are doing, so that when their time comes, they could remember some of the things that we did. But we had those that have gone ahead and we could learn from, and each one of those supported us in a big way. I think one of the biggest thought that probably was running, especially in those that are already married, was just like I was saying, was just the idea that these guys have never been married before. We are part of their community, and if this should go well, then we need to help them. We need to support them. And I see that as very, very selfless, okay? And we received that selfless gift from a number of people. I remember, for example, visited, Dot and Patterson, who those guys had been real good friends, and they were very great support for me when I was leading the youth ministry then. They were actually the youth ministry partner, and we worked closely for some time. And when we just went and mentioned to them, they were willing to support, and they actually offered their support. They were present and supported even in giving, okay? I appreciate how they came through. I remember a visit we made to the Thiongos. You remember? And how just letting them know that we have these intentions, and how they even celebrated and feeling that this is a good example even to our children, those that you're leading. and they took pride in that. That was very affirming to us, but then also it sort of assured us that we have a good and firm community around us that is willing to support in whatever ways they're able to. I remember our life group, which was our home church. In fact, now hapo kuna community noma sana. I remember a few days before, was it before the Rora show, before the wedding, tuliitwa hiyo life group na tukakuwa na meetings mbili tofauti. Meeting ya ladies walikuwa na Mwikali, we split and then I was nikakalishwa na wanaume and I was asked very hard questions. I'll tell you the truth. Niliuliza maswali nikatokea meeting nikijiuliza, okay, do I still want to get married? But that was very helpful. Why? Because they helped me think about things that while I was thinking about marriage, I might not have really thought about. Okay, but they also helped me affirm the convictions that I had in my heart about the step that I was taking. Okay, and I saw that as a huge support of Kina. All the Erics, I think all the Erics in License Yokima were part of that life group. Eric Agwanda, Eric Ndemange, Eric Ombok, Frederick Wambua,
Eric Aluma.
Eric Aluma yeye alikuwa life group yenyewe. Alex Kingo and the wife, Wilson and the wife. That home church, that life group, that was quite a great support, and we appreciate each one of them, even for handling us as their children, because that's how I saw that, or their small brother and sister. That's how I saw those separate meetings. It was big brothers speaking to a small brother or their son, okay, and big sisters or mothers speaking to their daughter or small sister. That was very helpful. That is our story. The Lord really lined up these people for us, and I think we had a successful day. We have a successful marriage so far. Just part of it is because of the community that we had. And I could mention the pastoral team support. Working as a pastor, we also had support from our colleagues. I celebrate Pastor Gashao and his wife Zisa, Pastor Luma, who was then our boss, Pastor Mwende and Matthew. Oh man, those guys were a big support. And then our best couple. In fact, part of the reason why we settled on them as our best couple, that was like my second or third home. You will always find me at Kinombox. Doing what? Just playing with the boys, Martin and William. That's the thing I will do. Come from work, and that evening, unless I have something really serious to keep me at home, I would go to Kinombox, okay? And just hang with the boys, who became my tight friends. There are times I would help them with homework, and I loved that. And I built this bond with them. Wikali joined me, of course, and now we started building this bond together. And when time came for us to choose a best couple, we just thought, I mean, where else if not here?
I think for me, one of the communities that I like to appreciate is the ladies from Alice Springs Chapel Sukimau, and how they stood with me as a lady, and they came up with a very nice bridal shower, and I really felt like they were my big sisters, and it was I felt I belong, and they really took care of me. They told me so many things. They gave me so many gifts, and it was just so encouraging to see that they had gone out of their way to just appreciate me, prepare me, and just be there for me. And I cannot fail to appreciate Pastor Mwende and Judy Ombok, my all-time friends. I learned so much from them, and even right now in marriage, there's some things I remember. They told me about marriage and how those things right now, I see sense in the things that they are telling me, and I refer back to them. And so the wash in Sokemau, really stood with me.
Wash washed her. Anyway.
Yes, the wash really
Wash
stood with me.
community washed her. It's true, by the way, and maybe I am the person who could speak as a beneficiary of what Wash has done or did in Mukali. Just working with her, you did. Oh, that community did an amazing job.
I remember someone like Chess. Chess is the one who took me
to
have my ears pierced.
Chesubire. Yeah, that lady. Chess alikuwa mtu wa mkono, so to speak, as in literally put it, she was our mtu wa mkono. She was ready, willing, and available anytime. What do you need done? Tell me, and she will take us. Chess, we really appreciate that.
She even used her money. Sometimes, she would use her money to just get things done for us. Yeah. And Huri.
Ruth. Yes, Huri. You co-MC'd with Huri at some point when our MC disappointed us. Yes. Huri. I think you can already see the names keep popping. They keep popping up. We've not even talked of the Hamadis.
Yeah, and the Omondis.
Who are also ready just to support in a big way, even though they were far. And they would ask questions about the plans, and all that. And it felt like they are here. They're actually concerned about how we are preparing for this whole thing. And the support was very overwhelming. Now, here's the thing, Dante, I want to point out, even as we carry on, as this name pop out, okay? Pop up. We are not trying to say that go to community to help you. Okay? We are not saying the community is there for you to benefit from it. The truth is, the community is there for mutual benefits. Okay? So we're not saying that as you live within a community setting, as you live with your people, with people around you, you just are waiting for them to help you or expect that they will help you. No, that's not what we are saying. What we are saying is be aware that that community, it has been placed there by God, and there is a reason. And it begins by you finding why you're part of that community and finding simple ways that you can be of ability. I believe that these people reached out, gave, because we sort of added value to their lives. So it begins with you being aware that you're there to add value, to
being part of the community.
Be part of the community yourself, because that way they will see value in supporting you, in coming alongside you. And I want to say this: do not run from the community, run towards the community.
Yeah, and I think one of the things about community is like what we are saying, it's involving them and making the community, making them feel that they're important to you. Because you see, the way the community will support you, when you let them support you, it's different from how they'll support you when you have not let them support you.
Yes, exactly.
And that is even how we chose our wedding day. We wanted it to be during the holiday so that we can have the youth around,
be part of the,
so that they can be part of the celebration.
Yes.
Since he was serving with the youth.
Yes.
So we considered them. We didn't just say tutafanya tu and do just anytime, but we considered them because they were important
and
in our
children.
lives, and the children as well.
Yeah.
So it's good to think about the community that you're part of.
Yes.
And show them that they are important to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I think that is a very key point. And I think at some point when we had came back, and you are saying something about that, Dante, saying that I might not remember the exact word, but you are saying something like to add to a group because now you have an event and you want support. It goes back to have we been working on something at the first place? Ni zile zenye unaweza tumia mse message ashindwe, do I know you? Do I know this guy? You understand? So be part of the community first and foremost. and engage with the community to an extent whereby if you should invite them to something, they're thinking, I can't miss that. I cannot miss that. If it's this guy, I want to be a part of that. So it begins with you, and that is how you appreciate.
Just like when Eric shared with Wangeshi that he was looking for for an engagement ring, and she just said, no, that one you not even have to pay for it.
You can't pay for that.
Yeah. So it's just because of how we are connected with the community.
Yes.
Yeah. And I think one of the things that I was feeling that time was that sometimes you just need to just play your part, play your part and just allow things to,
with no expectation.
Yeah, with no expectation, just allow things to flow. Just play your part. You're part of the community. Just be authentic
with people, love people,
just don't be there for benefits, but just choose to be just part of the community, and connect with everyone, be there for everyone, and just continue asking God, how can I impact the community around me? How can I be of help to the community around me? How do you want me to be part of, and just play your part. And when the time comes for when your time comes for you to be blessed or to be supported, the community will be there for you.
They will stand.
They'll stand. There'll not be a community to you, just like you've been a community to them.
Yes.
Yeah. And you see, there are different ways of being a community to someone. You just be a community to your community with what you have. If it's your gifts, if it's just encouragement and being there for them, you only give what you have. You don't have to kill yourself so that maybe you can go overboard or that. Just give what you have and who you are, and that is what you will receive in return.
Yes, plant, and then when the time to sow, when the time to harvest comes, at least you'll have something to harvest. It will be unrealistic to live in an island where you don't want people to know you're alive. You're just alone, and then suddenly you realize, there are people who could be of help. I don't think it will be realistic, really.
I remember even during our wedding, we had so many cars that some didn't even have.
We'll talk about the wedding.
It's just community, that is part of community.
There is a specific episode for the wedding, so we have tried as much as we can not to bring in the wedding into this episode of community. But yeah, I think there is a lot we could say about community. There are so many people who would like to thank, and I think I'm taking up that challenge Dante just posed, as conversations go on in the course of this week. I'll be reaching out to some of these people and just letting them know that we still, even to this point, value the support that they gave and they were to us.
Wow, you speak with so much passion. It's hard to interrupt.
I know.
But also, after all that struggle that tumepata campaign, a breakthrough. So yeah, to cut you short and tell you, time is up. But it's amazing how we actually have done more than enough, and talking about community, regardless
community.
This episode. Community. Amazing. I don't know, but I feel so challenged. I feel like I need to just affirm some people in my community and all that stuff. But that's a good thing to do this week. I think we have work to do this week. So go ahead if you're watching us and somebody that has community. I don't remember, like the company saying, this is how it works. If you want to see your community come through for you, when you're in trouble, when you're in need, you need to start investing in that community also. It is a perfect relationship where you can't just there and expect your community to feed you, or a certain community to be feeding you, and you're just there. And the day that they don't, you complain and say how walikutoka. You have to invest. Remember that you have something that is in need of. You need your community to come through you financially, but you have a gift. You can offer another mama out there. Maybe they need food in your house. You can cook. There is always something you can do. It's not about sitting there and receiving from the community, but it's just like how it works in the wild. What does the grows? Wild beast eat lions eat the wild beast. The body is manure to the grass grows like an antelope. It's in that's a good place to show. Thank you guys for being part of the show. I'm glad you have supported us, and I don't know how this would be with people like you. Thank you so much. I count it such a huge blessing. Thank you for being my community, and nobody else without there who is part of Penda. Thank you so much, good people. I think to end without having you say. So if you have something that you feel like I said before we end, to mention, but it is nothing. It's okay. Guys,
you have something to say? Last.
Okay, just what I just said. Just play your part. Just be part of a community. Be part of a community and be authentic in that community. Yeah.
While we are asking, and it's okay, I do not mean to correct that question. While in this show we are asking who is your community, I would like to do a reverse of that as we end the show and ask you, whose community are you? Okay, because it begins with you. Whose community are you? Yeah, whose community are you? That's my parting shot for today. But again, thank you so much, each one of you. We had, I think, what was her name? Let me see if I can find that name. Edith Wanjiru. At least we had Edith Wanjiru. Oh, Laura, my people, I missed you. Poleni, salamu. Okay, good to see you, Laura. I was wondering where you are. Na kiti chako leo kilikuwa tu. Anyway, thank you so much for being part of the show. Those who have been following silently and liking, giving us thumbs up, or maybe just peeping in briefly, we also appreciate each one of you. And it's okay if you missed the episode. We had internet challenges.
Before internet ianze kunionea pia, I think we will end the show here. Naona hata mimi wameanza kuzoea. But the question is community. That's a good place to end. And please ask yourself, community, because that's where it is. Asanteni sana, and the grace of Allah and the love of God and
God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with us now and forevermore. Amen. From us to them we say,
Kwaheri.
Kwaheri.
Thank you so much.